Hello, it's podcast time with Kate Spencer and
Emma T.
the
Trumpet. We're going to have to stop doing that. This is the last trumpet.
No, man. Well, we paid for a jingle.
Yeah, I know. We shall probably by this point be
on.
Okay,
so
that's
people,
the last trumpet.
people are going to hear the
trumpet
Life with Soul jingle, and then they're going to hear the pod. No, I think. Listen, if you want to keep the trumpet,
the product.
Podcast. If you want to keep, she prodded me there. If you want to keep the trumpet, you're going to have to get in touch. We need to keep the trumpet campaign.
No, nobody wants to keep the trumpet.
Hashtag Tom the Trumpet.
No
yeah,
way.
we do.
No way.
Anyway,
okay.
So
yes,
we're talking today about something called tin bucket self-care, and it's self-care, but it's like our spin on it. And it's a really easy metaphor. If you've already heard the shit cart, you will know that we like easy metaphors that people can relate to and that are quite practical. So self-care, we'll talk about that first. So self-care, sometimes people think it's a bit lame. I was one of those people.
Really?
Yeah, Emma loves a bit of self-care.
Oh,
Emma's a bubble bath in the afternoon person.
Oh, just for bad. Yeah, absolutely.
No, so I was one of those people who thought self-care was a bit lame. I'm going to own that. And that was absolutely...
Hear ye!
That was absolutely moronic of me to think that, because it ended up being a bad situation because I got ill. So yeah, so self-care, I think I had programming from being younger about how self-care was selfish.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know where the hell you were.
I know. Was I just not present throughout your childhood?
So yeah, I thought, well, at least I think on reflection through doing some work, that I thought it was a bit selfish, a bit indulgent, a bit sort of, how dare you, allow yourself to have a massage? How dare you allow yourself to have a lie, have a rest if you're tired? And I was very much of the mentality of tough it out, keep going, get on with it. And that was super unhelpful.
Were you the
me.
martyr?
I was Kate the... Oh, we've talked about this.
Kate the Merry Martyr?
Yeah, I was Kate the Martyr. Do you remember that discussion? I was on the phone to you. I was up at the gym and I was talking to you. I was in the cafe and I was talking to you about Saint Kate.
Oh, yes. We developed a character, Saint Kate.
Saint Kate the Martyr, who, everybody had to see me as working really hard and keeping going and doing my best and helping everybody else.
Do you know what we did with Saint
We chucked her under the bus.
We ran up and gave her a good hard swift kick in the fanny and told her to get real. That's what we did with Saint Kate.
So she was an absolute pain in the arse. She really, really was. So once I reflected on this, I did start to implement some self-care strategies, and things have improved and it's much, much better. But when we say self-care, we think like, oh my God, how have I got time to get a massage, me time and all that? But it's not just that. That is lovely. If you've got time for a massage, if you can afford one and there's an appointment available, go for it. But self-care on a daily basis, what's it all about? It's about talking to yourself nicely. It's about being your own best friend. It's about allowing yourself to eat better. It's having enough water. It's not beating yourself up about stuff. That's the essence of day-to-day self-care. Would you agree? Do you want to chip in?
Self-care is putting on the good knickers. Self-care is not waiting. Self-care is so much about tuning in with you first. Tune in, see how you are, check it out. What do I need? What does my inner child need? Boundaries. Oh, I love a good boundary. I really, really do. And yeah, it can be the bubble bath and the candles and all that stuff, but like Kate said, it's as simple as thinking, I'm parched, my wee's like acid, clearly I need more water. Coffee is not going to help.
Coffee is not my friend today.
No, I know. Let's just big up the water. It's just daily, small, simple things, building on it. And the thing with self-care is, if you're not happy with the word self-care, resilience. Make it something different, but self-care is resilience. It makes you stronger when life happens. We can't stop this stuff from happening, whether you want to be the nothing bad's ever going to happen to me vibe, or more of the kind of shit'll happen now, I'll kind of get on with it vibe, but I've just totally lost what I was going to say.
Well, I was going to chip in there and say, if you feel guilty about doing stuff for yourself, and I think it's quite often that mums feel guilty, I think. Emma's just rolled her eyes because she's totally bossed this. She doesn't feel guilty, do you?
Not anymore.
Anyway, think about how you show up when you're not looking after yourself. So I know, for example, there are people in my life, Emma included, who will sometimes say to me, for God's sake, have a nap. Or have you eaten?
Oh, for God's sake, get a gin.
Yeah.
That's a bit,
Have you eaten? Are you hungry? Because I show up, and I'm sure everyone can resonate with this, in a totally different way when I'm not looking after myself. When I'm tired, when I'm not eating properly, when I'm feeling really overwhelmed, when I'm not being bounded, when I've taken on too much stuff, when I've got work stress going on, when I've got shit going down, when I just feel overwhelmed and stressed, then I show up in a totally different way. I show up as an overwhelmed and stressed person. And I'm not nice to be around. And I don't do it deliberately. And sometimes life happens, a pandemic, and you can't avoid feeling overwhelmed and stressed because it's a bloody overwhelming and stressy time. But generally, day to day, if you can look after yourself, then you are going to show up in a better energy. And that is not only going to benefit you, it's going to benefit all of the people around you, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, quick look at self-care. How does this relate to tin bucket self-care? What's that all about?
Well, I just thought of it as a metaphor because I think in my head, and I've had chronic fatigue before and it was shit. Lots of people didn't even believe I had it, and that was shit, but I knew I did. I was mocked. That was more shit. Anyway, I felt like I just got like this bucket full of energy every day, and that's what I had to last the whole day, like the fuel tank on a car. And what I observed was there was holes in my bucket.
Dear Liza.
Yeah. And I sort of created this metaphor in my mind to help me through. And when I stopped and I thought, right, I've got this amount of energy, I need to prioritise it. I need to try and keep hold of as much of it as I can to do the stuff I've got to do. So, for example, I want to have a shower every day. I want to do some work. I might want to do a bit of housework. I had a young child at the time. I needed to be present for them. I needed to feed them. I needed to change their nappy. I needed to be there for them. So I had to measure my energy and I had to be mindful of where I was spending that energy. But what I realised was this bucket full of energy that I was getting every day could be full of holes, and it was leaching out all over the place. So I had to go through a process of identifying what they were, either trying to plug them completely and keep hold of my energy or reducing the flow. Now, examples might include reducing the flow of energy. Online food shopping was a big thing for me. So if you think of it right, doing your food shopping, so you make your list, you drive all the way there, you fight for a parking space, you finally get a parking space. Have you got your carrier bags? Have you got your token or your pound coin? You get to the trolley, you have to wait a queue, and now of course you've got to get a mask, you've got to squirt things, you've got a hand gel and all that shit, right? Anyway, you get there, you've got your list, you're up and down the aisles, you're socially distancing, you're buying stuff, you pile your trolley right up, then you get the conveyor belt. Then you have to put it all on the conveyor belt. Then you have to pack it all. Then you have to put it all back in your trolley. Then you've got to get in the car.
Sanitize the shit out of it when you get home.
Then you've got to drive all the way home. Then when you get home, you've got to put it all away. That is going to take loads of energy. Is it better to pay, and I pay £2 for the supermarket to deliver my shopping? I mean, even the fuel alone of going to the shop and coming back has got to be more than £2.
And everyone's got their own version of the supermarket
Exactly.
ordeal.
Exactly. So reducing the flow of energy, I can still get what I need and it's brought to my house. So now all I need to do is put it into a computer and my shopping list is saved. So that's really easy. And then click and somebody delivers it and I've still got to put it away. How much less energy is that? That's brilliant. Now, Emma doesn't like ironing. So she doesn't do it.
So I don't even buy clothes that need to be ironed.
Yeah, so she doesn't do it. And you could say that you don't like it, but do you consider it an energy expense? If you had to stand and do something you hated doing for 2.5 hours a week, you wouldn't do it, would you?
Well, not only would it be the time, for me I'd be livid for the time, so
Exactly.
it would be an emotional energy expense.
So, yeah, exactly. So that's an example of reducing the flow of energy out. Now, eliminating the flow of energy out, there might be holes in your bucket that you can plug entirely. If you haven't heard the podcast about the ask hole, that's going to be ideal for you to listen to next, possibly, if you've got a friend in your life who is draining you.
Yes.
Yeah, so that might be something you can plug entirely.
So, are you saying that although you still have to put the shopping away, you haven't stopped that hole? It's basically just a drip.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not a gusher anymore.
Exactly.
It's a drip.
But say, for example, not watching the news. If you find the news a real drain, if you find it triggery, if you don't want to watch it, if it upsets you, then you can stop watching that.
Yeah, plug that hole completely.
And then that hole's plugged entirely. You know, and there are some holes. I mean, another idea of reducing the amount of energy that you're draining, share the school run with another parent. So you're going to do it half the week and they're going to do it half the week. You've reduced that energy expense. So all of these things are going to help you to keep hold of the energy that you have got in a day. And that's going to therefore make you feel better. And then secondly, you're going to show up better.
What do you think are the most common themes when you've been working with people and in the Life and Soul Academy, when you've seen people talk about tin bucket self-care, when they've used the content in the library? What sort of themes do you notice people are commonly having with the drains in the bucket?
I think people feel guilty about looking after themselves.
So emotional drains.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, even that's a drain, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
That's going to be a drain.
Drains in finances, maybe?
Yeah, and we talk, obviously, with people feeling guilty and stuff, we talk about changing the self-talk. You've done modules in the library about therapeutic writing and stuff. Definitely finances, relationships, stuff in their shit cart as well. Stuff, and I know you're very big on cleaning up your side of the street, doing the work. You might have stuff in your life that is a big hole in your bucket because it's unresolved stuff that you say, for example, you live in a very cluttered environment and you really know that you need to get to it, and having clutter is like having a constant to-do list that you're never going to get finished. It's really stressful for people. That could be a massive drain. So it can be lots of different things.
And like you said, that clutter can then also be a really heavy item in your shit cart. If you've not heard of Kate's shit cart before, have a look at another recording called The Shit Cart. It will make sense. It's fantastic.
So once you've done that process of filling up the holes in your bucket, and some of this might take a bit of practice because it might be boundaries, like you said with people. It might be saying to people, you know, I really need to switch off social media I'm going to turn off all of my notifications at 7 o'clock because I go to bed at 9 o'clock. Or it might be, you know, having a boundary with people that, I don't know, whatever it is, but reinforcing them, and that might take a little bit of time. But once you've plugged up as many holes as you can and you've reduced the flow on as many holes as you can, the second step that I would say is look to fill your bucket up. And this is a great metaphor, and we say it all the time, don't we? Fill your cup, fill your bucket up. Whatever brings you joy, whatever makes you happy, whatever gives you energy, and this is going to be personal for everyone. There are some universal truths, aren't there? Time in nature is usually...
Cuddling lambs. It's got to be that.
Is always going to fill you up and make you feel better, unless you're agoraphobic and you don't want to go out, then maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm not laughing at you if you are. I'm laughing at Emma's face. But time in nature is going to really, really help you being grounded. What about things like listening to music you like, burning an essential oil that's really uplifting that you like, whatever it is, speaking to a conscious friend and having a laugh on the phone, meeting up with a family member for lunch, you know. And then there are the things like the massages and things like that. That's lovely self-care. And I used to be a member of a health club, and I probably will join again when the time's right, but I used to just enjoy going there and working there through the day and sitting by the pool and just working there through the day, and that was really good self-care for me, a change of environment, and that used to really fill me up. So whatever it is that you need to do for you, look to fill your bucket up.
And the other thing as well is, Kate, when you're busy filling up your bucket, some things are going to be a teaspoon and some things are going to be a mug. So like the day at the spa or something like that is going to be a shit ton of filling up.
Yeah.
But don't discount the essential oils, the happy music, the little teaspoons, because they're all going to add up.
Absolutely. And things like eating well are going to fill your bucket up. Things like sleeping well, get the basics right, have enough water, doing a morning meditation, getting up 10 minutes before everyone else and having that first cup of coffee on your own. It depends, whatever it is that's going to make you feel good is going to fill your bucket up.
What's your top bucket filler?
I would say probably being on my own.
Really?
Yeah, because I very, very rarely get to be on my own.
What mine is?
Being with me.
No.
Is that second?
Of course, but mine is laughing.
Is it?
Laughing.
Mm-hmm. Like a belly laugh.
Laughing, like face hurting.
I agree with you. That's probably my joint number one.
Any kind of laughing. Mm-hmm. You know, I think laughing is probably my fastest bucket filler.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, you can do other things like we talk about in the academy, the power shower.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing. The lovely thing that you do in some of the programs we've run called, you know, the why waiting thing and permission slips and all that. That can be really good at filling your bucket. But the combination of stopping the energy from draining out and then pouring more energy in is going to make you feel loads better. And when you feel better, you're going to show up better, but you're also going to find that your vibe changes, your energy changes, and then you're going to be able to more easily bring good stuff into your life, because like attracts like.
So grab a piece of paper and a pen today, or some colouring pencils or whatever. Draw yourself a tin bucket. Identify the drains and the holes. Add some colour, add some words, add some feeling words. Don't just listen to this and think, oh yeah, that was a decent idea, I might try that. Get more bang for your buck. Actually do it. Literally pencil in 10 minutes to have a go. We've seen people do that in the academy. They share pictures of it, they get really arty with it, and it expands their experience and they get so much more from it.
Definitely. And then when you've identified those drains, remember to have a look and think, are there any that you can reduce the flow? Think about the internet shopping, or are there any that you can plug all together? And then obviously phase 2 is, how can you fill that bucket up? How can you make yourself feel good? And think about the things that you do that do feel good. How can you get more of them? How can you schedule them in? How can you take action so that you get more of that experience in your world? And before you know it, your bucket will be overflowing.
That's it.
That's
Excellent.
it, yeah.
So that's a wrap on this one. It's goodbye from Kate.
And it's goodbye from Emma the
Winner? I don't know what a
trumpet.
Oh, sorry.
It's the last ever trumpet, everyone. Apparently, unless you want to get in touch and hashtag save the trumpet.
Okay, we'll not end on that. Take care for now.
Bye.
Life with soul.